and therefore that will be successful. That is my preaching, Prabhupada said. What Krishna said, you say it as it is. Don't change. So how you can give interpretation? And if he thinks that he can give another interpretation, what is this nonsense? Then he is not following Guru or Krishna or both. Guru, Krishna, Kripaya. One has to receive the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Through Guru, Krishna. Eventually he went on to make up his own Maha Mantra. Because after Prabhupada's disappearance, then of course they declared that he was now the Jagat Guru. Jagat Guru Chris Butler. And because they were also chanting Hare Krishna, they were getting identified with ISKCON. Can you get me a hot drink? Yeah. They were, chanting in the streets. They were chanting Hare Krishna, and then people would think that they were us. So they got to the point where they so badly wanted to disassociate themselves from ISKCON that he even made up his own Maha Mantra for them to chant, so that people wouldn't confuse them with the Hare Krishna movement, which was us. Right? So this is this is exactly what Prabhupada was saying. And what will you do with your independence? You'll just misuse it, that's all. Excuse me. I've got a catch in my throat. It's just, when you get a tickle. You better cut that off the video. Okay, so that's something about Prabhupada writing, something about Prabhupada's disciples writing. And of course many other people are writing things, and Prabhupada would sometimes comment on the writings of the Karmis. So one person that he sometimes commented on was Sigmund Freud. December the 19th, 1975 in Bombay. After I set up the mosquito net over Prabhupada's bed, he lay down. This was Prabhupada's evening massage. I climbed inside also, sitting cross-legged at his side, gently massaging his hips, legs and feet. Prabhupada talked briefly about Freud. He said that producing such a complicated philosophy and writing volumes of books just to understand sexual attraction, which is there naturally even in pigs, is like bringing a cannon to kill a mosquito. Big philosophy, he said, is not required for these things. And again, something more on Freud. May the 1st, 1976, Prabhupada was in Fiji, telling us that people are accepting ignorance as knowledge. Prabhupada identified a couple of the modern culprits who were the cause of this. He had some very strong words to say about them. Darwin's theory. It is simply speculation on ignorance, and it has been taken as knowledge. Freud's philosophy is the business of hogs and dogs, and it has been taken as philosophy. Even the hogs and dogs know how to enjoy sex life. On account of sex life, they've written a philosophy. Is that philosophy? These rascals, they are in Ajnana. Dealing with sex life, dealing with the body is their philosophy, science, and then they're passing on as philosopher and scientist. This is their this is their position, the whole world. So how much Krishna consciousness is important? Just imagine. Much to our amusement, he gave a graphic example to illustrate the materialist's real positions. They are animals. What the dogs will understand. When there is one lady dog, 1 dozen dogs will come, smelling the best part of the body. This is their philosophy. So Freud is that. Best part of the body, he's writing philosophy. Just see. This is the position. How low taste, hogs and pigs business, and right philosophy. And his books are selling like anything. Probably I could be very blunt sometimes. Other people that sometimes write not about mundane topics, but sometimes about Krishna, but are not qualified. But the same business, hogs and dogs business. September the 9th, 1976, those who were habituated to illicit sex are punishable, Prabhupada was telling us. Asat, it is very, very bad. So he's talking, we're in Vrindavan. And still, if somebody does like that, then he is punished. This is going on. Here, illicit sex. So the Babajis, I've heard them, they say, what is the wrong there? It is love. They say like that. They take it as love. Oh, gopis love. They say, the gopis used to do that. Used to have illicit mixing, intermingling with Krishna. So what is the wrong? They'll say. So they get support from Krishna Leela. Such rogues they are, the Sahajas. There are many so-called gentlemen. They write books on Krishna Leela and paint picture. Oh, this is nice. Krishna is advocating illicit intermingling. So they take it as a support for their sinful activities. I have seen, personally, anyone who is a woman hunter, he's being addressed by his friend, oh, you are just like Krishna. So they take Krishna as a man. So how will they take the instruction of Krishna? Avajananti man mudha, panambhavam ajananta. So we're teaching people to become Krishna conscious, to become servants of Krishna. And the so-called enlightened gentlemen, they take Krishna as a debauch, a black debauch. And they take Vaishnava religion as sex. Because there's so many apasampradayas. And if you examine most of their philosophies, they're all based on deviations from the real philosophy, based on sex. That's all. Most of them, actually. They've got some kind of deviation in there from that. Okay, another rascal philosophers. Honolulu, May the 27th, 1976. Prabhupada was talking about the rascal philosophers. So what is the use of talking foolishly that God is dead? God is never dead. So this is going on. This morning we were talking, so we were concerned with the laws of God. God may be dead or alive. It doesn't matter. Suppose by law we are prisoners, we're in the prison house, and all of a sudden the president or the king dies. Does that mean that you're immediately free? No. So we should remember that the government is prakriti, material nature. Prabhupada declared that anyone who proclaims such a philosophy is actually dead, because he identifies with the gross physical body, which is always dead. It is simply a machine, and it moves only due to the presence of the soul. As Krishna chastised Arjuna in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita for his bodily concerns, Prabhupada similarly criticized modern day philosophers. So all these rascal philosophers, they're thinking about this body, that's all. But that is not the subject matter for the learned scholars. What is this body? It is a combination of matter. It is moving, and as soon as this living soul is out of the body, it is useless. So, what is there important in talking about this dead body? His conclusion was as crushingly final to the foolish philosopher's speculative talk as death itself. When death will come, no one will save you. You are challenging God is dead. And when God will come and make you killed, nobody can save you. We are so foolish for thinking that God is dead, and I should continue my life, and my wife, and my children, and my countrymen, and my nation, and they will save me. That is not possible. Thank you. So that God is dead. There was actually, when Prabhupada first arrived in New York, there was, I think it was Time magazine, about March of 1966. I have to check the date, but it's one of the earlier months in 1966. That was the headline on Time magazine, front page. God is dead. Yeah, so that was just at the moment when Prabhupada arrived, and started his preaching. They were declaring, this is the biggest news magazine in the world, declaring God is dead, and Prabhupada arrived to declare God is very much alive. So whoever wrote that headline is probably dead.